grandmother when I am not one. There must be a way, she murmured. She saw an article from someone online telling people to buy her cream and clear all the wrinkles off their faces and bodies. I will try this out. Oh, she smiled. Mrs. Ali was a general manager in one of the microfinance banks in Nigeria. She was cheating on her husband with a younger male staff, so she had to look forever young to fit in. If I don't look fresh now, this boy will think I am his mother, she would always tell herself. After buying the cream, she was sitting in front of her dressing mirror, dabbing her face with a face wipe, smiling. By next week, this boy will not recognize me again, she said and smiled. Why are you smiling, this woman? Her pot-bellied husband, who was chatting with his side chick, asked angrily. Please allow me to hear something, he said and left the room angrily. Look at this one, who even noticed you exist, Mrs. Ali hissed angrily at him. She carefully applied the cream on her face, smiling. The next morning, she woke up to a more radiant and beautiful face. Oh, this cream works, she said, smiling happily. You are looking good, Ma, everyone she came across chorused as she stepped out of her car. That's my baby, her sugar boy said and kissed her on the lips. You look good, wow, he said and swooped Mrs. Ali off her feet. This love is sweet, and I know it will last forever, she said happily. Of course it will, her sugar boy said, smiling too. The more Mrs. Ali rubbed the cream, the younger and fresher she became. Everyone admired her. This woman is fine. Oh, I like her. What are you using on your face and body? You are looking hot. Mamuna, her bestie, teased. She laughed and showed her the miracle cream she was applying on her body and face now. Wow, this is good. Can you buy for me? Mamuna asked Mrs. Ali. Yes, I will, just give me until weekend to get it for you. Mrs. Ali tried to contact the seller, but found nothing about the seller or the cream on the social media page she had bought it from. At first, she wasn't bothered because she thought she wasn't searching well. But when she checked her messages with the seller and saw nothing there, she panicked. Why have everything about this seller disappeared? What do I do? Thank God I got 4 bottles and have used only 2. By the time these ones finishes, I must find this seller. She told her friend, who didn't believe her, that she couldn't find the vendor. The cream finished 4 months later. Mrs. Ali had not still found the seller. She now looked like a 23-year-old lady. Everyone kept wondering what she was using on her body. Her husband now looked like her grandfather. Their 2 children, who were in boarding school, came home and couldn't recognize her. Mom, you look like I am older than you, her only daughter said, smiling. Mrs. Ali was enjoying the attention she was receiving, especially from men, particularly her sugar boy. Then one night she woke up to use the bathroom. When she was done, she saw herself in the mirror. She had aged like a 40-year-old woman. She quickly ran back to bed. This must be a bad dream, she said loudly. The next morning, she had aged like a 50-year-old. Ah, what is happening to me? She cried. Her husband saw her covering her face with wrapper and laughed at her. He didn't understand what was happening and he didn't care. Mrs. Ali could not go to work, so she called her friend Mamuna to come. I don't know what is happening to me, she said in a teary voice to Mamuna, who was trying to see her face. Turn first, let me see. Do you have sunburn? Mamuna asked, concerned. And why are you talking like an old woman? Please be serious and turn, let me know how I can help you. When Mrs. Ali turned, Mamuna ran away screaming, which, oh, which? She came back after some minutes and asked, what happened to you? I think it's the cream, it has made me to age faster, Mrs. Ali said, bursting into tears. Before evening of that day, Mrs. Ali was already so weak and frail, like a woman who was already 100 years. All her hairs had fallen off and she was already telling her children to forgive her and live a good life, when her phone rang. Don't bother picking the phone, it may be my office, no one must see me like this. You should say, Mr. Stanley must not see you like this. But you know what, I already invited him here with your phone, her husband said, laughing heartily. Mommy, who is Mr. Stanley? Her daughter asked curiously. Mrs. Ali was too weak to even shed tears. Just pick the phone, It's been ringing, she said to cover the question. I want to speak to Alice Ali. I am the cream seller, the caller said. Mrs. Ali grabbed the phone weakly. Do you need the cream? The seller asked. Please like, share and follow for the next part.